You can write this down. All done?
Yeah, all done.
Okay, thank you very much. What I usually do is, I usually just keep rambling on until 9 sharp. No, I'm just kidding. Until about 8:30-ish. No breaks. If you need to get up, you can get up. If you need to stretch, roll over, lay on the ground, that's okay. Do whatever you need to do, as long as your colleagues are happy with your behavior. And if I start rumbling on past 8:30, you can like start shifting. Says, hey, yeah, you promised. Yeah, I got jingling keys. I gotta go. Or what some other people they're doing, you just get up and walk the hell out. I get it. That's part of being a professional student. You can do any flicking thing you want because you're responsible for yourself. Absolutely. So if you walk out, I won't be like you're in detention. Come back. No. I assume you have a good reason. Or none. What the hell? I'm a professional student. I'll see you next week. I have other stuff to do. All right. Anybody has any questions about anything so far? What you've done already? No? Nobody pissed you off before, told you stuff you didn't like? Okay. That's good. So I don't have to make up any fibs. For those of you who may not have done any of my sessions before, just to let you know that I know a little bit about what I might be saying over the next couple of sessions. My background is in retail banking, which included lending in the commercial loans, or what we call business loans, and consumer loans, and mortgages back in the day when I had an afro. So you know how long that was. That's a long time ago. And then for a while after retail banking, before retail banking, believe it or not, I worked as a customs officer. Believe it or not. At the airport, at the docks, and all that crap at Clifton, measuring oil, make sure the correct amount of revenue is collected. Because folks are always trying to do what? Defraud the government. Are we still doing that in the 21st century?
Yes.
Yes? If you don't believe it, go and audit some VAT reports. Say, mother's sick. So I soon will have not a rat patrol going out, but a VAT patrol. And they will be coming from the VAT Commissioner's office eventually, one fine day, to go out to inspect the records of, to make sure that people have reported their online VAT numbers correctly. Yeah. Anyway, back then. And then after retail banking, I spent a couple of years as a financial controller, believe it or not, in the banking and hotel and transportation industry. And then after that, another 20-something years in private banking. That's sick. I feel like an old bloody.
Just 25 years like that.
Yeah, that's serious.
Wow.
That's sick.
That's a long time.
And here's my wife. Only clothes get old. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm not married to a spring chicken, but that chick, she's not having the discussion. Only clothes get old. All right, and I should stop while I'm ahead. But anyway, just so that you know. I've been lecturing for about 30 years plus. Believe it or not. Here, there, and so I've been doing this stuff for a while, saying some interesting things. Do I know it all? Hell no. I discovered just what my father told me when I was a youngster. The more you learn, the more ignorant you realize you really are. And despite all these experiences, it's just a drop in the bucket, believe it or not. And when I talk about these experiences, I don't mean just a cursory experience like giving instructions and know what the hell I'm talking about, because I never did anything. I'm talking about, in most of these cases, hands-on, which is very different from lip. Another sick lip service. That's another issue. Okay? Where in private banking have I worked, just for you guys who are up and coming? Come right in. I worked with a Canadian bank, French Canadians. Anybody ever worked with French Canadians? No. Any French Canadians in the room? You have to check these. In the old days, you didn't just say stuff. Nowadays, you have to check like, yeah, get a. How's that sheet coming? Okay, maybe this gentleman can. And then after a bout with the French Canadians, then I went to work for any French Swiss, French Swiss bank. And they all have their own peculiarities, as some of you will probably know, in terms of how stuff works. And then, just when I thought I was seeing all kinds of interesting stuff, I spent another, I don't know, must be 13 years or something with a Brazilian bank. Oh my God, the Brazilians. Which is a whole different kettle of, from, yeah. And then, when I thought that was the end, I ended up spending a little with, I can't even believe I've lived this long already. Sometimes I just look in the mirror and laugh at myself. Say, are you serious? Alright, come right in. Then I actually spent a little while with a Filipino bank. And that was another interesting, yeah, okay. So I just said all that so that you can have an idea that I know something about maybe something I say. And also that you can have two kinds of lives. One where you do all this crap and then drop dead, and the other one where you do one thing for 40 years and then drop dead. Something like that. I don't know why the hell I did that. Well, I have one reason. I was looking for what? More what? No, hell no. Well, yeah, but
Money.
I wouldn't put that.
Money.
Yeah, more. Yeah, because see what happens is when you get somewhere and then you get settled, they just want to give you like 1%. Nothing. Take that. Shut up. If you complain, you lose your job thing. So you have to always like do stuff, you know, if you want to like earn a little bit more to do this for your children and that for your family and that, like that.
Indeed.
Yeah, so it was knowledge, yes, but also some other, yeah. Okay, for those of you who choose this life. All right. But I have no regrets, it was quite interesting.
Sam, you have the handout for module 2?
Sorry?
Not everyone has the handout for module 2.
Who does not have the handouts? One? Okay, let me see if we have any extras.
Oh, small? There's 3 of them. There's not 3 of them. just fine. My attention's fine. We got to take breaks.
It sounds almost like he won't work straight through unless the way he tell you. That's what he's
Especially if I don't need to. Just,
What happened to you Saturday? You know, I feel like you
She knows my excuses.
Just to me, I know who else she does. Yeah, no, I might put her APB on for you.
Okay, so just one person, yes?
You didn't get the next one if another one of our coworkers come? Because she didn't get one on Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's two.
So, yeah.
For sure.
Okay, I'll ask him to do two just in case. All right. So everybody have this stuff here? Right. By the way, if I fall out during my lecture, you know where to take me. Or better still, where? Not to take me.
Cross the street. Register.
Oh, thank you.
yes, I did.
If you care about me at all, you'll take me the other place. If you don't give a damn, you'll just roll me over to the other place. All right. My. Okay.
A very pleasant good afternoon.
Grab a chair. Now, my sessions are usually open sessions, which means that you are free to raise questions whenever you feel like it, whether they're related to credit or not. Somehow, everything is related to credit in a strange kind of way, so feel free. If you're a politician in the room, you may ask political questions without being indicted. Somehow, everything is related to credit and banking and finance and all that stuff. I'll tell you why while she's filling that. Okay. Come right in. This is 1 cents. Okay, so this is 2 cents.
This is one here. This will be the next one.
Oh. So this is assuming they have a folder.
Yeah.
Close it all. Okay, that would be great. Check this too.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The other day I went into a certain bank to cash a check, financial institution that grants credit, see, the same stuff. But my issue was not a credit issue at the time, even though I do have, I am the devil's advocate when it comes to credit issues. I was the devil's advocate decades ago when I was a young lending officer, and I realized what rates of interest are being charged then. Anybody knows anything about rates? Anybody's paying any of those rates? Yeah. If you don't know anything about rates of interest yet, you'll find out about them in due season, either theoretically or for real, or both. Okay? Rates of interest. But my issue last week was not a credit rate issue, but rather, by the way, banks have a fancy name for rates of interest. It's called pricing the loan. How's that? Pricing the loan. So we can actually have a sophisticated discussion. What the hell Siri got in my stuff?
Very intrusive, eh?
Seriously, how did that happen? Did I press something?
It's anticipated.
Kiss my foot. Siri, how the hell did you get in my stuff?
I don't know how to respond to that.
She hasn't never heard hell before. Like, what the hell? Okay. So yeah, you can actually have a sophisticated conversation about pricing the loan over coffee. But pricing the loan is very serious business for lenders as they go about this function. And we'll see why that is a necessity for them and why sometimes their rates are almost what? Usurious. Anybody knows what that means? Yeah, almost unlawful. Does anybody know how much rate of interest in the Bahamas you can't charge? Over what figure?
21.
Oh, it's 21 now. Let's put it in 20. Okay, you can't go over 21%. Is that good? No. But credit cards are pretty close, aren't they?
Credit cards are not over that.
Effectively, they're over that.
Yep.
They quote 18, but effectively
What space?
Could be up to 40.
40. You kidding me?
No, seriously.
You done the math on that car?
If you do a cash advance and you over your limit, it goes
Yes.
up to about 33%. And you do, if it's further late, if you're late on the cash advance payment, it goes up to only 40%.
Did you guys know that? No, yeah, but I could believe that, especially if you have that over the limit thing going on.
Yeah.
That in itself is a travesty. Where's my sheet? This thing about financial services, especially in the retail world, is anyway. One thing at a time before I forget. Last week, I went into the bank to cash a check. So the teller says, "Do you have an account at this bank?" This is me. No. No name. I said no. Why do I need an account to cash the check? She says, that's the rule. She doesn't know either. Nobody told her, and nobody asks. You just send it down in a memo. Your supervisor tell you, do this. And you cannot do otherwise without impunity. Okay. So I said no. Like that. See? No. Because I already knew. When you get like this, you start seeing like in advance. It's almost like hindsight in many cases. So I said, no, I don't. She said, in that case, two things need to happen. She looked at the check. Mr. Wilkinson. I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. One, you need not one,
2 pieces.
2 pieces of what? ID.
Government issue.
Yeah, sorry, yes. Government issued ID. I said, why can't one work? She said, because that's the rule, you need 2. I said, do you mean if I only have 1, I can't cash my check? She said, that's what I mean. Not that I know what she meant. Somebody has to be the devil's advocate. The second thing was to cash the check with these 2 will cost you, Mr. Wilkinson. I said, I don't mind paying 50 cents. She laughed.
22. How much was it?
$2.
Oh, darn bad.
Now, folks, maybe not for youngsters. Like 20 years ago, I'd probably say the same thing. That ain't bad. But like when you become like a what? Senior, you don't want to pay that crap. $2.80 to cash a check?
That ain't real.
But they not that's not bad. Not bad.
That's not bad?
That's not bad.
You mean somebody is charging higher than that?
$5.
How much?
To be able to $15.
To cash a check?
And in some banks you only could get a cash if it's under $3,000 and you don't bank for that.
Oh, man.
No, that's criminal, because
You
they're
can't
charging
get
the
cash
people
at all.
with a checking account already.
Of course.
Yeah, so why should they be charging you?
Because they could.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's the
There is none.
gangsters, man?
Well, there is one.
Fee income.
To increase the,
Fee income.
at whose expense? Not everyone, because rich folk don't have that problem. Only us and you know. Regular folk.
That's
Wow.
a service fee though.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
That's a
Service fee.
Yeah.
So while you're having coffee, says I may pay the mayor $15 service fee. Okay. All right. Wow. All right, come right in. To get a credit report, which is one sentence. Folks, the reason why I'm going through this for a moment is because this stuff we're going to talk about is important. That's the theoretical side of financial services. Yeah, thing. However, you know, this is the reality side of this and some other stuff.
That's right. When you cut an interest rate, you gotta make it somewhere else. Absolutely.
You work for a bank? She does. You can always tell the doggone biased ones. So we have to make money otherwise. Banks are complaining about making money otherwise. Okay. So the credit letter. Okay. Which is one paragraph, one sentence. Let me use a name that's real. Royanne has great credit in the low Tingham figure. That's it.
She said,
Hi, Tingham number.
Credit facilities issued.
For her efforts
That's great.
and $30.
and sometimes they leave the other person's name in it.
Yes.
You've been there, right?
Thank you very much. You better check it.
Because it's just someone copying and pasting the template.
Yes.
I've got it with someone else's.
He took the word. Well, I wasn't going to say leave the other name, but he's right about that. But yeah, it's already in the system. Copy, pay, or just go in, change the name from Julian Francis
Everyone reading
to
on
Roy
the
Ann.
same, so
Sorry.
not everyone's reading on the same. So it's sometimes more than that.
Oh, you mean two paragraphs?
2 lines.
They have $2 if you're very good and one if you're very bad.
Yeah, 2 paragraphs instead of 1.
I don't need a full one.
Some she doesn't need she don't need a full.
Should I need the folder?
That's enough.
Just
You
module
can put
2.
both of them? Yes.
You don't need the folders?
Just module 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you very much.
Both of them? Yes. Thank you.
How many pieces of paper can $30 buy?
But it's just not the paper, it's the ink.
Exactly.
Oh, the ink, I'm sorry.
The time.
Then
The
you put
time.
time that goes into it.
2 people.
If you time factor this down and you break this down, I'm sure you would realize that the time.
We'd realize that it costs like 50 cents, not just $1.
Per unit, it costs like, yeah. See, once you do it on a per unit, per page, per that, it's just like our national debt. It's about 7 to 8 billion.
7,000 per person.
Yeah, what, yeah, only 7,000 per person when you do it on a what? Per capita. But in the aggregate, that's sick. It's a serious thing, of course. And I'll say one more thing about the reality of what we're going to talk about. Loan interest. That's sick. Has anybody gotten a consumer loan lately?
No.
Oh, good for you.
But the rates are far better than they used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, what are they nowadays?
Yeah, like you can get, depends on what type of facility you're getting.
Okay.
When you compare today versus what it used to be back in the days, the rates are more competitive.
How about that? So the highest you'll pay in the 21st century now is how much? On average, for consumer loan?
Secure or unsecured?
15, 16.
Yeah.
Secure or unsecured?
Yeah. If it's secure, I guess maybe 10 to 12%. Unsecured, 14 to 16.
8 to 9% for secure.
Okay, 8 to 9. Unsecured?
Probably 9 to 11.
You want to sell on the water?
14?
46% is high.
Yeah.
Still high.
That's what they are.
17%.
It's a risk. You're paying for the risk.
Yeah, you're paying for the risk. You need the money, pay it or get out. Besides, all of you know come in look guilty. The risk. Yes. And the interest that they pay on $100,000?
0.01%.
Oh, you mean fixed?
No, they pay you, not collect. Is how much?
0.01%.
Probably 0.7.
0.01%.
0.01 or less.
My one is 0.74.
0.74? Is that 1% yet?
No.
No.
On $100,000, somebody paying you 0.74?
Sure.
That's a lot.
I had a colleague who came to me the other day,
Right? That's a lot.
a client who came to me the other day. He was perplexed. He had a $50,000 CD. He got his renewal certificate and he saw that his interest was 0.
They
I'm telling you the 0.74 for $100,000.
I know. But it is in bloody conceivable. I don't care what's going on. For a $50,000 deposit for a regular guy or girl to be 0.
But it
too much
depends on what type of,
liquidity. Too much
it depends on what type of account he has.
I know.
You ain't getting a percent.
I know they have a reason for everything. It's still weird though.
He has to make sure he has the right type of account for.
But the reality
I know.
is, it's good that it was on a CD and he got 0 because it was on a deposit account. He's going to get charged $10 for maintenance fee.
No doubt. At least there's no maintenance charge yet.
It would have cost that.
And here I am being the devil's advocate. Say, what? Let me see. Of course, I knew that it was 0. But I didn't. He was already feeling terrible that he earned no interest.
If you leave it under the mattress, you probably get deep.
Well, yeah. Well, leaving it in the mattress is a higher risk.
Yeah.
So it's better to get nothing and have it insured
That's true.
and secured than to put it in the mattress.
Yeah. And that's central bank bond.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And in the rate category, it was 0.000. They had all the zeros there. Imagine how amazing that is to somebody who saw CD rates that once upon a time was 8 to 10%, depending on the amount of your deposit.
Term.
Yeah. Never thought I'd live to see that kind of CD note. But yeah, they are there. That's my foot. All right. So, one other reality check. Doggone it. Since we're talking about credit and banking and finance and all that crap. So that means if you pay interest of 12% on a loan that you need dead bad for something, and you get 0% on your CD, that means your net interest payable is 12%. So there's no spread, like,
No buffer.
no. Does the bank lose anything in this? Not at all, because they're paying nothing. So you put in your little stinky $10,000. Oh, thank God. Took me years to save this. All you're doing is putting in there in custody. So your children don't thief it from under the. Yeah, that's why people are going to the.
Credit union.
Yes. Have they ever robbed any credit unions yet?
No.
I wonder why.
Don't worry, worry, they soon change though.
Just checking.
They too
Somebody
soon
has to be the
change.
devil's advocate. All right. And the final question is, why the hell is all of this allowed? The political question, see? Can we change it? Can we influence it? Can we make it more equitable? Can we? Can we? And if we do, what will be the consequences? Questions for you youngsters coming up. Because I'm headed to the department now with like my mom. When you tell her crap, you tell her, Mom, the world is coming in, and she's, oh, Jesus. That's it. She doesn't worry about it. She just sit back and watch the next TV thing. So she's hungry. That's what happens when you turn 80-something. So for you youngsters who are up and coming, some food for thought. Sorry, but it's true. I remember I used to be like that. Like every day I get up, what can I conquer today? What can I fix? And every time I try to fix something, they beat me up. Stop fixing! Bastard, you don't want it fixed? The hell are you questioning it? You young whippersnapper? And they beat me to death for questioning stuff. Folks, I was questioning these same things for decades. And every time I raise it somewhere, they give me that look. Like, yeah, if they were paying any pension. Which, by the way, you said pension, you diverted me again. Only 25% of companies in the Commonwealth pay pensions. Did you know that?
Wow.
No more than 30%. The rest of the companies, how you spell nothing? Nothing. I'm not kidding. That was the last statistics a couple of years ago. I'm sure that has not changed much. It was unbelievable to think so. Again, why are the politicians who control the parliament allowing it? How come?
They're the business owners.
Next thing you know, no job, no nothing.
This one
Me
ain't
and
on
my
you
wife
too
have to
late.
leave town, go to Canada.
This one ain't on you too late.
No.
You have to be careful. Yeah, that's me right there. What the hell? Yeah, when you get my age, you don't see like my mom. Forget. Okay, so why wouldn't we just sit down one day and pass a little itsy bitsy piece of legislation, like one page, that says all companies whose revenues are a certain thing must institute a with immediate. One or two people might close and say, I'm paying no pension, I'm stupid workers. But for the most part, folks will follow through. We just wouldn't. Okay. So if you work for a company that pays you a pension, or that has a pension plan, count your blessings. Because the rest of us, and you know.
Amen.
Okay. That's CIRM.
Yes.
Okay, come right in.
Coming in the front of the room. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Grab a chair if you can. All right. Has everybody filled this in already? Except for the lady who just came in. Okay. Okay. So, what are the things we're going to talk about over the next 3 sessions, I believe? There might be an extra session for this particular module. She's now aware now. She's like, before 5 minutes ago, I didn't give a damn. Now I want to know everything about everything. Way to go. I hope not. If you are, Raise questions. Don't tell them I say raise none. Because then I'll have to deny it categorically. But I don't think so. The reason why we might have another session, and you'll be advised, is because somewhere at the end, we're going to talk a little bit about operational risk and operational management of that risk. Okay. So we can just tuck that somewhere. We'll see what happens. How's that sheet? Is it on the way? Yeah, when you're done, just send it up for me, please. So, what are the things we're going to be talking about over the next few sessions? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about credit and what it is. And we're going to definitely talk about credit risk and how to manage it. A little bit about credit risk ratings and why we rate loans and credit facilities in banks and countries and so on. And then how do we go about managing this risk? And then, of course, operational risk and management. So we have quite a few interesting things, I hope. Hopefully you'll find something. How's that paper looking? Something interesting in all of this stuff. All right. So there you go. That is what your life will look like for the next couple of sessions. And if you're in financial services, that is what your life looks like, whether you see it or not. Okay. Has anybody ever been involved in FATCA, CRS, and QI? Yeah? How has that been for you?
Awful.
Awful. With regards to FATCA, what did you find to be the biggest concern? Stress. Thing that like turned you off the most? Clients don't want to provide the documentation. Yeah, you have to fight with them until they give it or leave you. One or the other. It's like a bad relationship sometimes. What about CRS? Same thing. Because remember, CRS is really just an extension in a way of FATCA. FATCA is the US side. Are there any Americans out there who owe us money? We want to know. Report. CRS, is there anybody in the world who should be paying taxes in their home countries and are not? We want to know. That's what CRS is all about. And the Europeans, when they saw how well, quote unquote, FATCA worked, they're like, oh, really? Then they went back to the drawing board and came up with CRS. Wow. And then, of course, QI, for those of you who dealt with QI issues, is a whole other animal. For those persons who do not disclose, what do? Yuck the 30%. So if you're not in the 30% bracket, you have an encouragement to come in and declare. If you are over 30%, you don't care, and they have it.
What is QI?
That's it. These agreements between countries where there's a 30% withdrawal for those persons who fail to declare. If you come in and declare and so on, then we clear it up and you're off and running. Of course, there's a group of people that we call a pooled group where a financial institution can pool them and then make declarations and they have certain tax benefits. But either way, all three of them are a current and perennial nightmare. So that the whole world can be taxed. And so that no more money can be hidden, they say, in the annals of OFCs. Are we in OFC still? There's nothing illegal about OFCs. Are we a tax haven still?
Yes, we are.
Are we still, after all those laws from 2000, are we still a tax haven? I thought we moved on from that. Do people still bring suitcases and we deposit them? I mean, I haven't seen any person and I don't want to see any. Because I don't want anybody to tie me up these days. Because if they could lock up Bill Cosby with no evidence, imagine if somebody said they saw, I said I saw it.
Right, it's hilarious.
Then that's it. They won't have any problem locking me up either. All right. Okay. So when I call your name, tell me anything you feel like. Introduce yourself, and then we'll move into this credit CIRM thing. Is that Tamika?
Hi.
Where's Tamika? Okay, Tamika. Say anything you feel like. Introduce yourself.
Can we leave at 7:30?
I like Tamika. Every Tuesday.
Why would you want to leave at 7:30?
7:30 sounds so much better than 8:30.
Oh.
Or 9 even.
And here was I thinking 8:30 sounds so much better than 9.
Did I miss something? 8:30? I thought it was 6 to 8.
6 to
No,
9.
Information is hell, isn't it?
No, seriously, it's only 6 to 9.
Time change on you, right?
Someone stole an hour and brought it here.
It's a good thing that came up. It's a good thing to make you said that. Because she was thinking it was 6, which means 8 o'clock. She'd been like, what the hell are we doing? Start packing stuff up. Fortunately, it's not from 6 to 9. We go straight through, no breaks, so we end up around 8:30ish, just in that area. Okay. And if everybody is totally asleep around 8:20, then I'll just walk out. And whenever you get up, you can leave. Okay, Tamika, deal. Why are you doing this class?
Just to increase my knowledge on risk.
On the risk side of things. Okay. Because we know risk tends to encompass all kinds of stuff. Credit risk is just one of the many types of risks that are out there. One of the biggest risks that we deal with every day now is something called compliance risk. And it's everybody's nightmare. Okay? I walked into an executive as early as yesterday, and they're thinking, why the hell do we need compliance? They're still upset. Executives hate compliance. Because to them, compliance what? Stifles business. Gets in the way of doing business. They want to be unfettered. They I don't want to know. The problem is that we have, it's like the 9/11 thing. Before 9/11, my son who's 21, my baby, when we traveled, he said, Dad, there was a time when this was not so. I said, there was a time this was not so. He can't believe it. Because all he knows is what? Yuck everything off. That's all he knows. But we know that there was a time when you just walk through like gun, cannon, anything. It didn't matter. Because nobody really did stuff like that.
That's too much.
Yeah, but ever since they freaking bunch of punks flew into the thing, everybody's messed up. The government is now using it for their own doggone subliminal. Okay. Way to go, Mr. Hill. I'm sure there'll be something you can carry away from this madness. Okay. Tyrone.
Hi, Sam.
Okay, Tyrone. Say something.
This again, just in terms of currently in credit risk, just in terms of just deeper knowledge.
Yeah, see if you can pick up one or two little other things to
Yeah.
take to the board.
Yeah.
Can the boards be trusted?
No.
He's old school. Yes, we can. If you put more women on the board, can they be trusted then?
Yes.
Because women don't? Women don't lie and scheme like you people. Only men, the dogs that you are. Okay. Thank you, Tyrone, for raising that. You started it. Okay, Anthony Stubbs?
Yes. Well, Mr. Wilkinson, we meet again.
Indeed. Done it?
Yeah. So, I came here to broaden my understanding of the actually dive into the risk framework
Yes.
concurrently with the venture. It seems to be something that's very scrutinized especially with the regulatory framework and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So I want to make sure that I understand it completely and look forward to the next couple of weeks with you.
Yeah, I hope I can leave some stuff that you can actually use out there. This credit risk thing, credit compliance risk thing is a big deal. And you'll see when we get into the Basel principles and all that kind of stuff. I think there was 17 of them that were instituted so on a universal level to try to get persons involved in credit to adhere, quote unquote, to these rules. Because those rules are designed to be fundamental to the lending, credit, loan process, whether it's in a bank, a credit union, countrywide, individual, doesn't matter. The rules still apply, okay? And for those of you who are involved in compliance risk at all, even though it's credit specific, you probably see that there's some things that relate to all kinds of compliance. For example, the board is ultimately, no matter what kind of risk you're dealing with, even though it doesn't appear that way. We've been inviting board members to come and do some sessions on risk and compliance and board stuff, and they are hesitant because most board members are like, we are above.
Lord.
They need to know ignorance.
Yeah, we know every flicking thing because we've been elected to a board. Ironically, being elected to a board doesn't mean that you are qualified to be there.
That's true.
Which is one of the reasons why things don't always go the way they should. Because the boards, and this is not unique to the Commonwealth, the boards have all kinds of interesting animals on them. I don't mean that in a derogatory fashion. I mean it in the Animal Farm story thing. Anybody read that? Animal Farm? It's really about us, you know that?
Yes.
Okay. Are we still like that? In the 21st century? More so than?
Even worse, yeah.
I understand. So much so that now Bahamians are flicking abducting children. For whatever reason. This was unheard of.
Unheard of.
I know, that doesn't even, I know that doesn't do with credit. But it is a risk issue, isn't it?
Yes, good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Boards have all kinds of animals on them. And not all of them are qualified to be there, even though they feel that way. Sorry?
No one paid. They train back the kids. They bring the kids back, and no one paid hostage fee.
Oh,
David is sending it out.
we haven't gotten to the hostage level yet.
No
We're just saying we could do it.
Yeah. No one paid no money for that.
So fake abductions, like fake news. If somebody had told me the Commonwealth would have been all this, I would have never believed it. Especially in the days of my hipsters and 20-inch waist. Never. Could not foresee it. Couldn't even foresee myself. So now I look at my age, laugh. I'm like, what the flick? Okay. Thank you very much, Anthony. You raised it. All right. Somebody stubs. D'Angela. Okay, D'Angela.
So, I work for the central bank.
Oh,
so,
a regulator.
But I don't work in bank supervision. I
Oh.
work in research. So,
Okay.
this is different from what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Indeed.
So it's just something new for me, something to, I guess, dive in and to learn more about.
Which is always a good idea if you're a regulator or if you're in financial services at all, in any capacity. Because sooner or later the conversation comes up. And even if you're not directly involved, somewhere along the way, it's of interest. And furthermore, how long have you been in research?
8 years.
8 years. Would you like to remain in research?
Not forever.
Not forever. Okay. That's what I mean. Soon you might end up in, yeah, supervision. Absolutely. And then all of a sudden, these risk issues are of paramount concern. In the meantime, while you're in research, you can eavesdrop. And the more you understand, they say, you think I don't know. I know exactly what the hell. Yeah, so it's always a good thing. Okay, is that Kendallette?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Kendallette? Francis?
Yeah. Just to broaden my knowledge a little bit more about risk. I
Indeed.
don't work in that area
At the moment.
at the moment. But like a colleague of mine said the other day, you can even use this information not only in banking, which I'm in now, but any other, probably another institution.
No question about it. And whether it's credit risk or some other risk, a lot of these principles can be applied to other kinds of risk. Not only that, you might find some of this stuff useful for your own what? Personal use. Absolutely. It'll give you some hindsight, like, I know what the hell y'all doing.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can we get dinner next time when you come to class?
I didn't know that how to bring it
Dinner?
Yeah, or refreshment or something.
Oh.
Dinner is served.
It is not unlike a regulator to come up with that. What made you think of that, Kendallette?
Well, I remember the last classes I did.
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, back in the
So that means you haven't done anything for a
No,
while.
I haven't done anything.
Yeah,
And there's some long hours.
yeah, I know.
I don't want to eat late. I'm trying to watch my finger, you know.
She's watching it. Yes. Just like the bank, she has all kinds of justifications. She doesn't want to eat late, she's watching her figure. You used to do it? Absolutely. And so Ken, Dillette, here's what I suggest. I agree. Once,
Don't say bring it to
you guys are taking the wind out of my, let me say something else first.
Okay.
Once upon a time, yes, we used to do that. For you guys who are not familiar with that, yeah, there used to be dinner served at the end of these classes of some kind. And every week it was a different something.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Yeah. Next thing you know, you don't see me anymore. No, this is 21st century. You can say stuff. Okay. If Tingham and Tingham Dam can get married on the altar, I must be can say what I have to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody has to be the devils. Otherwise, you won't hear nothing. So yeah, once upon a time we used to have dinner, and for some reason we decided to stop. I don't know why.
CBB.
Maybe that.
Zero-based budgeting.
Yeah, because all you have to do is add in a little something.
No, take it away.
Take it away. So don't add anything. Just do it.
Yeah.
Which means that. I have to be careful what I say. Okay. If you're interested in that, you just send a what? As a what? Group. Like everybody bombarding them. Like dinner, like that. From all 20, you know. Yeah, like that. And then let's see what happens.
Put Miguel on vacation.
Miguel said he's going to you.
Me.
That's what Miguel said.
It's probably, that's why he probably didn't, because if he had talked to me, here's what they're going to say. By all means. So they didn't talk to me. But yeah, maybe that's, send an email and make a suggestion. Strange things happen, you never know. Okay? Kendallette, so you may have opened up bag of worms. For those of you who are interested in supporting Kendallette in her efforts, please send an email topic? Food after class.
Right.
Yes, sir, we all agree. Even if we don't, put everybody in it. We all agree that there should be food after class. We all agree, from each person, we all definitely agree. There's no doubt in our minds that, like that. Make it a little charismatic. And see,
Suggestions.
yeah, I wish to suggest that we do the following immediately. Food after class, things like
Can't
that.
be after class though, because you might as well eat them all.
Or during class, whatever. I don't mind. As long as you're listening while you. Can we do both?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Kendallette. Some food for thought. Okay, let it rip. Let's just see what happens. Let's pull a Donald Trump. How's that? Like when he started running, he didn't know that they would nominate him. Then all of a sudden he was like, we want Trump, like that. And they said, what the flip? I'm the nominee? Okay, let me go on campaign. And he probably didn't think he'd win the presidency either. And then when he said, I stop the madness. Yeah, he was shocked. So let's go. Just no, I ain't tell you no, let's go. But let's go. Okay. Cherise Forbes. Who's Cherise? Okay, Cherise. Introduce yourself.
I'm sure.
And you're doing this class because?
Just to get broaden my knowledge in this, and hopefully it'll bump me up.
Yes. Is bumping up directly correlated to your knowledge?
Yes.
We hope.
We hope.
Not always. Remember, all the board members are not?
Competent.
Yeah. He's right on the money. But they're still boarding the hell out of things. Like that. And fixing skirts, whatever they do. I don't know, they wouldn't invite me to a board. But they must be know what I'm going to say. I'm probably going to be INED. What's that?
Independent.
Yeah, I'll be like the independent. After a week on the board, I said, he didn't freaking get it. This guy. He's trying to do stuff that boards really do. That's not going to work. All right, thank you, Cherise. Kwame? Okay, Kwame Ryan. Okay, Kwame, let it rip.
What you want?
So anything, introduce yourself.
Kwame Ryan. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, I'm here because I have to be here.
Oh. That's funny. If you didn't have to be here, you wouldn't be here.
I don't know. But they're telling me that this is this my career path.
Who the hell told you that? Some board member?
Some person in HR.
Oh.
So I'm here taking the class because I have to.
Indeed. And hopefully at the end of the day you will not regret it. And hopefully at the end of the day it will be a pathway to something other than the front door. Because nothing is predictable anymore, is it?
No.
Okay. Indeed. Thank you very much. Marcia Mears.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
I can't go back to Kwame one day.
Yeah, you could. Sorry, Marcia.
Kwame.
She needs to go back to Kwame.
Just a question. You said you're here because you have to.
Yes.
And I'm here thinking, I mean, you're an adult, you're working on a job, and they would want you to do something, and they would encourage you, but they
I have to. Hey,
or you'll be terminated?
No. It's encouragement in order for me to be here. They're encouraging me to be.
Not because you have to be. In other words, she's saying, were you working, buddy?
Mortgage Corporation.
Oh.
Yeah, they're encouraging me to be.
The cousin of the Bank of the Bahamas.
Vice cousin.
Or is it the great grandfather of the bank? What can I say? Yes. If you could be somewhere else, Kwame, would you be somewhere else?
Yeah, most definitely.
Where would you be? Oh. Why didn't I think of that? I thought you'd have said maybe you'd be out with Marcy or something. Somebody has to be the devil's advocate. Okay, Marcia, thanks a lot, Kwame, for sharing that. She's still perplexed, though.
No, 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 no.
Well, I'm not perplexed. I was just curious.
No, you can be encouraged.
Indeed. Okay, Marcia.
Good evening. I am here. I'm a senior officer at the Securities Commission of the Bahamas.
Another regulator.
In
Yes,
the supervision department, so we're all about risk management at this stage.
absolutely. So any risk crap that she can take and that's like bait, and she goes out, or you know, call in, or whatever. Dog eat you. Yeah, you better have your act together. You can't say Marcy ain't know what she said. Absolutely. Okay, way to go. Royanne Rule,
Yes, sir.
introduce yourself.
Ryan Roll, Senior Officer, Risk Analytics, Securities Commission.
Another regulator. That's sick.
So, yeah, just to get a better knowledge of risks, and especially in the industry,
Indeed.
what's happening.
Indeed. And credit risk, by the way, is a huge, huge aspect of it, whether it's retail or private banking. Well, yeah, absolutely. All right. So regulators always want a little something, so when they come to look and you tell them some crap, it's don't try that. I have been to the CIRM. Don't try that crap. I know what's going on. Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much. Is that Tianya? Okay. Tiana?
Tianya.
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 Okay, Tianya. Let it rip.
Tianya Johnson. I'm simply here because I want to broaden my knowledge as well as to gain an understanding of all areas of risk.
Yes, indeed. Well, this is a good place to start. It is a very important aspect of risk. And as I said earlier, a lot of things involving credit risk and credit risk management applies to risk management in many other areas. Okay, for sure. I see you work for the great-grandchild of the Bahamas Mortgage Club.
I do.
She does. Anybody knows who that is?
It's on here.
Find it. Are profits really improving, as they say?
Yes, they are.
Okay, they are. Yes, we're up and running now. No more political loans. I didn't say that, I saw it in the papers. Don't ask me which paper. Okay.
Don't believe everything you read.
No, it's what we call gap seed. Okay. So that other company that was created to take some of the thing up, where is that company? Anybody knows?
That's with the accounting firm.
Deloitte and Touche.
Oh, it's with Tingham them. Anybody knows why I say Tingham? Because Tingham in the bush?
Ain't got no name.
But yeah, but she could say Deloitte because it's what? Public knowledge, indeed. Are they going to collect all of those monies? No. That's what we mean by credit risk management. See? Remember, now I raise it as what appears to be a politically driven question, but it's well, yeah, it is political. But at the end of the day, it ends up being what? A credit risk issue. To the tune of, that's another thing. You're talking about that 0.000. That Tingham company with Tingham them.
It is public knowledge.
Resolve. Resolve.
Oh, I can say it?
Resolve.
Yeah. Resolve that's holding these, I hope they don't call them assets still. Because I prefer to call them debts.
They're holding the notes.
Yeah, the notes, the paper. Are they worth the paper?
They're written on.
Only if there's collateral. Because see, that's all of this is credit risk management. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah, all of a sudden we think, he's not talking about anything that you're doing. Yes, I am. I am talking about it to the this thing. What do you think will happen if I oh dear him. To the tune of 500 doggone $1 million. better known as 1/2 billion. And guess what? You guys are the educated ones. Imagine thinking them over the hill. If they hear that, they can't even conceive it. Like 500 million? You trying to confuse me, act important? You want me to slap you, boy? I don't blame you. Who the hell wants to know about that? Because all this stinks, doesn't it? Yes, that's how much it is in that vicinity. What a sec. Okay, how did I get to that anyway? Oh, Tianya. Cousin, the grand. Yeah. But now that Resolve is resolving this, in case you guys thought that the word resolve came up by accident, the word resolve company limit was designed to ultimately resolve this, and hopefully they will get some percentage of this back. Certainly it'll never be 100%. Yeah, has Resolve been dissolved yet? No, they're still there. Yeah, the Lloyd and Company is fighting like the devil in hell to see if they could resolve some of that.
Okay.
Fortunately for Bank of the Bahamas, they don't have to worry about it anymore. I wonder though, since we're talking about credit risk management, do you know how many good loans could have been given with this 5 million? See, folks, maybe to you guys, maybe for you guys who have not been involved in credit and credit management, see, for those of us who have actually sat down and wrote up credit applications for consumer loans and credit applications for mortgages and credit applications for commercial enterprises and all that stuff, and lent tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars in the aggregate, that means something. What it means to somebody like this doggone. Anyway, this is the reality. What it means to somebody like me, us, who have done this or who may be in it, is that this is the epitome of poor risk, credit, risk management. How the hell could you give Tingham, his dog, his cat, and all the 5 million, for example, unsecured? How do you have the audacity to say you took collateral with a market value of 5 million and lent 20 million against that? Theoretically. It makes no sense.
None.
Which is why whatever collateral is left in here to manage this madness will never be sufficient to pay that off. And anything that's left, who's going to court? Maybe one of us if we have a little, one little 20,000 unsecured school loan or something. You want to educate your children, go to court, pay or go to court. But the really millions of dollars who owe.
Less than 20 customers too.
My. Now that's deep. Because you mean in Resolve?
Yeah.
I hope not.
Less than 20.
Because per capita. Folks,
Less than 20.
that's why when I get off, I throw my car and drive straight home. Because I wouldn't make it. No, ask the hard questions.
Got a question.
Yes.
In that 500 million that you have up there,
Yes.
their personal assets haven't been tied in with that then?
Personal.
I'm only asking.
Hell no. It depends on who they are. Maybe your personal assets for that little 20,000 you got. So they holding your old Toyota, your piece of land in Pinewood or whatever, like that. But for the really big guns, they might be holding one commercial building that's worth something. But after they've sold it at some fire sale somewhere, to who? I ain't say it. She said it.
Cousin.
Yeah.
Family member.
Yes. That's sick. All of this constitutes what? Credit risk. Because notice all these things influence how the risk is what? Managed. Do you follow, folks? Now, what we're going to talk about is the textbook version. I'm just kind of throwing out some practical aspects of it. So when you're done, you wouldn't be totally theoretic in your thoughts.
Theory is always good.
Yeah, of course. By all means. All right. That's exactly why I told my son, try and pass the theory side of driving so that I could sit with you until I'm ready to stop sitting with you to do the what? By all means. Because it's a completely different what? Animal.
That's right.
So, according to Tyrone, the number of customers making up Resolve is about 20. Now, 500 million divided by 20 equals the per capita, the amount per person, even though we know it's not exactly that. You know, Tingham got this, Tingham like that. But if your calculator can't do it, wait until you get home on the computer that has zero,
25 million.
25 million average per person. Now we know some persons got like more, and other persons got like that. If you really want to know about credit risk, that is a very practical example about how, yes. And if somebody had the audacity to pay me to write up a case study, I'd write this one up. Only problem is like we don't like to pay each other. No. We like to pay
French Canadian.
Yeah. I with all due respect to everybody, we have this thing, we have an issue like when it comes to yeah. So when folks come in from abroad, we pay whatever they require. When it comes to a local person, no matter how well schooled you are and experienced, they always want to talk you down. First of all, I say, would you do it free? And if you don't do it free, they say, you mean? Then they have a board meeting. So don't call him back. Because all of we vex as a board, aren't we? Yeah. I hope it's not that bad. All right. Who caused that? Tiania. Doggone. Johnson. Who works for the Grand? Yeah. Oh, the other one. Who was here as encouragement. Okay. This looks like Tanya, is it?
That's it.
Is that Tanya Para?
Farah.
Yes. Okay, Tanya. Introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Tanya.
Okay.
Seeing that, I feel that there's an element of risk in anything that we do or any role that one may find themselves in. I sought to become certified in this area for the major reason is to get out of sales.
You don't like sales anymore?
I never liked it. But,
but
I'm good at it. But with the pressures of sales and targets and the environment that we work in,
indeed,
I'd prefer to be the one monitoring the credit risk aspect of it
rather than meeting those targets. Because after a while, those targets could become a pain in the butt, and they start keeping you up at night. They interfere with your marriage, your thought patterns, your relationships with your children. I'm not going to meet the target. I know, it stinks. Yeah. Okay? And since this is a credit risk class, and she's talking about targets, it's interesting she should say that. I didn't tell her that in advance. I'm glad she mentioned that. When I was a lending officer back in the day, what we did was we kicked back like this and fix that, go to work, fix our tie, and wait for customers.
That's right. You didn't have targets.
It was easy.
And when we see them walk in, depending on how lazy the officer was, just walk around all of coffee. You're all kind of stupid anyway, celery.
They were targets, so the money was easier then. I mean, it was
No,
easier
but not the same thing. Now, at the beginning of the month, you have to say how many loans will you do based on something. Or they send it down. Do that. As if they have control over who will walk in for a loan. This month, we expect you to do 30. Oh, mother's sick. Come the 23rd of the month, you're only on 7. Because that's all the customers who walked in. You call 300, everybody said, I want no loan, babe. Yeah, sometimes they give you a? Yes, make them borrow this amount. So when customers come in, how much would you like, miss? I'd like to borrow 10,000 to send my child to school, please. Miss, that ain't gonna work for you. So we start turning it into another kind of animal. Yeah. You need not 10, but 30.
Just in case, just in case.
And if you make it 40, we'll pay the doggone biking fees. And for 50, we'll give you a semi-gold toaster. Yeah, so, yeah, you're right. It could be tough. Okay. So you're hoping maybe they'll move you over to the other side.
Again, this course opened the doors for several different areas.
Indeed.
So it's just the opportunity. The experience is there, so it's just to be certified.
Indeed. So now when you're done, when the next PAR comes up and they said, future events, I have my CIRM now, and I'd like to be considered for this, and this. Please, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, you still have to do it. If you're selected to the board, there's no begging. You're invited.
Yeah.
However, should you wish to sit on the board and you were not invited, then you have to beg. And then conform. And we say, all in favor? You don't even have to hear, just close your eyes. Because if you don't put your hand on it, that's to say we should not have. Thank you, Tanya, for bringing that up. Especially that sales target thing. Oh, God. Okay, Felisa? Okay, Felisa.
Well, I'm currently in compliance.
Okay.
And so I'm pursuing this course or certification just to get a better understanding of the enterprise as a whole and managing risk.
Indeed. What kind of organization do you work for?
Private bank.
Oh, okay. Have you seen any people with suitcases lately?
No.
No. Have you seen any suspicious transactions lately?
No.
No. You realize if you do feel that suspicion in your stomach, you should report it.
Within 48 hours.
Somebody has to be the devil's advocate. You say, oh man.
Yeah, go with gut.
Yeah, go.
That's right, that report.
Go with
Yeah, send that report to the MLRO. Does your organization have an MLRO? Okay. Good. Then you're on the right track so far. However, if there are any suspicions that you failed to report, I suggest you
file those report.
Unfortunately, the current climate makes us all liable, doesn't it? In one form or another. Especially in financial services of any kind. And other areas, depending on where you work.
They'll find you one institution.
Absolutely. And imprisonment. Yeah, some food for thought. So the glamour is gone and now the madness has set in. There's potential you can be fined and imprisoned. All right. Good luck, Felisa, with that madness. Okay, Shameen.
Hi.
Okay, Shameen. Okay, Shameen. Let it rip.
Charmaine.
Shameen.
And like most, I guess, persons would have said, to enhance my knowledge in the overall risk management.
Indeed. Are you working credit now?
The Commonwealth Bank operations.
Operations. How long have you been in operations?
Last 6, 7 years.
6, 7? Okay, 7 is the number of completion and time to move into credit. They tell me you have a new managing director now? Yes.
From Tingham. From Tingham them.
From Tingham, yeah, from Tingham. These three people Tingham them. What is that? I just dawned on me.
We have a new president.
Yeah.
Oh, new president. Yeah. Yeah, how's Ray doing? He's doing well?
Yes.
Okay. After doing well here, he's gone over there.
Oh, I'm thinking of opposite ways.
Did Ray have anything to do with the Resolve deal?
Yeah.
Oh, Teddy, tell us, please.
Well,
It was a receiver.
what was I? Oh, Charmaine started this by saying that she works in operations. Okay, thank you, Charmaine. Good luck. Somebody right here. Is that Roseanne?
Rosanna.
Rosanna. Okay, Rosanna. Introduce yourself.
I'm Rosanna Boydale. I used to work at Tingham them, and now I work at Tingham them. And
Here and now.
at the other Tingham them.
Oh.
Grandchild.
Grandchild.
The grandchild thing, yeah.
But I'm here because my career has basically been a foundation of my career has been risk in auditing, and
Oh, yes.
I'm here not necessarily to expand my knowledge. Well, that too, but I looks good on paper.
To have the credentials to go with your experience.
Mira buena no papel. It's good on paper. Why the hell not? I haven't understood why the hell not in Spanish. What the hell is? Need to Google that. I need to ask Siri. Like Siri, what is hell in Spanish? That should be interesting. All right, thank you very much, Rosanna. Jonathan, let it rip.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Cartwright. I'm in private banking, and our risk management is slightly different than the typical credit risk management. But
Okay.
same concepts, and enterprise-wide is the big name now for risk management in
Yes.
private banking.
Does anybody know why enterprise-wise is such a big issue now?
Everything is connected.
Yeah, like instead of looking at pockets of risk, we're looking at how the entity as a whole is impacted by all the various types of risks. Okay, for sure. Because for example, if you have a fire in your servers on premises, does that create a risk? Yes. There's a risk against business continuity program. If everything gets burnt up on campus, that could be a problem. Okay? So if you work for an organization where there's no external server somewhere, like in Curacao or something, would you guys put a server in Haiti?
No.
Probably burn up their food.
Depending on the part it is, with the writing and stuff.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with,
No.
but you have to consider the jurisdiction, the location, correct?
Yes.
You can't put your server just anywhere. Absolutely. Because as soon as gas prices go up, they start breaking stuff up. Because that's how they were since they kicked Tucson out. I mean, yeah, not Tucson. Yeah. Yeah, not Duvalier. From the beginning. The French, the whole French fleet. They get the hell out. And then all hell break loose ever since then. All right, so we have to be careful where we put our stuff. Okay, way to go. Cartwright from Long Island?
Yes.
Oh, I know Mr. Cartwright, who used to have a service station. He's related to you?
Yes.
It's a small world after all. That means you must have been a little guy there, like.
Sorry? Jonathan.
Yes.
This is my cousin.
Okay.
Who's your cousin?
She asked me something.
Claudia. I asked him
Oh, yes. Claudia whom?
Claudius.
Oh, Claudius, yes. Who's your dad, Jonathan?
George.
Oh yeah. Man, it's a small world.
You know how small your world is.
Wow. Yeah, Jonathan would have been a youngster back then. Way to go. And everybody's all grown up. All right. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Way to go. You're in an interesting environment. I know you know that. All right, Monique Forbes. Where's Monique?
Monique Nesbitt Forbes.
Oh, sorry, Nesbitt.
Names.
Is that the same like Nesbitt out west?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Nesbitt Forbes, yes?
Good stew fish.
Yes. A whole Nesbitt in there, no talking food? Man. So in your emails to Miguel?
I can provide, right?
Make a suggestion
Not
even.
for free.
Of course not.
No, not for free.
I give them okay.
Well, I do have to leave at 7:30 this afternoon. Good place to start.
Do you have a reason like the banks
Yes, I
for
do.
charging high fees?
I do have a reason.
Okay.
But
Fair enough.
I decided to take the course because I work for Commonwealth Bank as well.
Yes.
And we started a new risk reporting.
Yes.
And I wanted to know a little more about it.
About that,
to ensure
indeed.
proper reporting, accurate reporting.
Sounds good. Did they tell you why they're starting this new thing?
Yes.
Okay. She didn't say anything. Must be a big secret. She said yes. Full stop. Thank you very much, Monique. Way to go. No trade secrets. All right, Cara Davis.
Hi.
Okay, Cara.
So, Cara Davis.
Yeah.
I am at Scotiabank. I am in the credit risk department. I work along with Tyrone.
Oh yes.
He's so much a big part of why I'm taking this course, so he and I can have more spirited discussions.
Indeed, about current events.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I do have a question for you, though. I
Yes.
may have missed it if you said it in the beginning. What is your background?
Kiss
Oh, no, stop.
I missed it.
In a nutshell. Okay, in a nutshell.
Filipino, Brazilian, Portuguese.
Canadian, Canadian.
That's funny. It's weird she should even ask that question. The ironies of life, that's what I mean. As soon as you said it, everybody's, oh, Jesus. In a nutshell, I started off in the government as a customs officer, then I went into retail banking as a lender, and then I went into the finance world as a financial controller in some industries, and then private banking for about 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a nutshell.
No board of directors.
A couple of boards, but selective, like,
You bag.
I hope I didn't beg. Indeed. Thank you, Cara.
And where are you now?
I am with another private bank. That is sick.
They got two type of boards, right? The paying boards and the non-paying boards.
Indeed. It's interesting she should say that. There are two types of boards. So far, all the boards I've served on have been gratis.
No way.
For doggone Queen and Country. Because see, all the paying boards, like, they invite, like, yeah, because they, exactly. And then the paying boards, like, have little things going on that not just anybody can hear. Like, no regular people, like, you know, who have stuff to contribute. No. So they call all the same suspects each time. Sorry, I'm just, yeah, the usual. So the only boards you can really contribute to are those that, yeah. So as usual, that's my part of the charitable stuff. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Cara, for raising that. Tianja? Anya. Okay, Anya, introduce yourself.
I am here in preparation of expansion.
Sounds good so far. Are you planning to expand into the world of credit?
I don't know. So it's in preparation. Anything is possible.
Well, if I was your therapist, I would say to you that you are certainly on the right track, and that you should give full and due consideration to all aspects of what you're on the road to. And lay back and have a drink, and we'll meet again next week. Way to go. You're on your way to something, and this is going to add to whatever the hell that is. I'm not going to argue with that. Okay, thank you so much. Lorianne, is it?
Lorne, a pleasant good evening, everyone. My
Good
name is
evening.
Lorne Moutry.
Where's Lorne? Oh, right there. Okay.
Kind of short, only 5'3.5", so I hide behind subs right now.
Okay.
So I work at Bank of Bahamas, your Bank of Solutions. I'm currently an account officer.
You sound like a commercial.
Currently an account officer. I wanted to take this course because I thought it would tie in well with my project management background.
No question about it. And I'll tell you, you see this team, take a good look at her, because she'll be sitting on future boards.
I receive it.
Because she don't jive. So I'm flicking thing up, and I do that. She is not jiving at all. Way to go. I wish I could get my oldest son to be more assertive, but he's very conservative. You know, he's an old IT, he's an IT guy, you know, like just quiet, moving around. But yes, way to go. I'm doggone thinking Moultrie. Are you related to Reverend Moultrie?
Yes, sir.
I figured that. Way to go, Moultrie. All right, last but not least, somebody Richardson. Tamishka?
Almost, but not quite. Tamishka.
Tamishka. Okay, Tamishka.
So I'm Tamishka Richardson. I work at Deltec Fund Services Limited.
Okay.
In the compliance business for about 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
The risk reward for me in compliance only started to dip low, so I'm exploring risk in a larger context.
Larger
rather than
context.
just compliance.
What does dip low mean?
First and foremost, companies don't want to pay you for the compliance function, but yet there's personal liability.
Yes.
Insurance companies don't cover that as a
Yeah. Unfortunately, you are right. That is an issue that has not come up. The compliance profession through BACO and some other issues been talking about a self-regulating SRA program so that we can petition more for compliance people to be given some of these things, to be protected and all this stuff from certain liabilities. Unfortunately, at the moment, we are not. What also makes the job interesting is the people who we are overseeing as compliance people are the persons who pay us our salaries. And for some reason or another, for some, that appears to be something of a conflict of interest. I know you're recommending the hell out of stuff. They're not listening. Yeah, sometimes. And if you recommend too much, all of a sudden they tell you that they're closing down the compliance area for a month. They no longer need the services. And then they outsource it or they give it to somebody who will stop sending recommendations to the board. Okay? Or recommendations that the board would be interested in doing, like make sure you buy insurance for the building, see? So if there's a fire, they're okay with that.
Or for yourself, because you're out there on your own.
Yeah, but they're not out there with all the other heavy stuff. Like the central bank and securities commissions are requiring that we do these things and that we do them post haste. And like, really, do you work for the commission? I had a boss who asked me that when I was a compliance manager a long time ago at the French-Canadian Bank. I was responding to some queries that the central bank found during their inspection. For those of you who have ever done that, you know what I mean. He got all uptight. Says, why are you telling the central bank we're doing this? I said, because they require it.
Right.
He didn't like that. I must be supposing, I'll change, what do you want me to say? I said, they require it. And if we don't do it, they're going to be back. You don't work for the central bank, you work for me. Not National Bank of Canada. Me. Me. You slave. You could be reporting accurately to the bloody central bank of the Bahamas. We had a fight about that. He didn't want me to do it. He wanted me to change some of my comments. And I told him he's free to change them under his signature. Suffice it to say,
No longer left horse fence.
something like both. I have lost 1 or 2 jobs messing around this compliance thing.
Yeah.
Trying to be the professional that I'm required to be.
Keep your integrity intact.
Indeed. And look at what happened. God gave me 2 sons, 2 other flicking Wilkinsons. So I couldn't jive. Because if I get all tied up, then I say, your daddy was a
Yep. Darn right.
Hound them for the rest of their bloody lives. So yeah. So yeah, it could be more. I get that completely. Losing a job or leaving because of situation like that's a bit scary. Especially if you have what? Little children? Yeah. Like, Daddy, can we do how do you tell like I'm not working? They don't want to hear that crap. They don't even understand that, really. They only want what they need and want. Absolutely. All right. But yeah, we're going in another hour. Folks, I guarantee you, before you know it, we'll be out of here. Guaranteed. Just a few more things today, because remember, this little exercise,
Good evening.
I won't hold it against you. No demerits, no detentions. She's like, oh, like this. Let me make my break now. Was she the one who said 7:30?
Yeah.
No wonder she had a vested interest. But she tried to do it on behalf of everyone. That's why I told you, send the email about the food thing. You never know. And so, yeah, some of you could be like direct. You could plan it. Some be direct, some be in the middle, and then some beg. And so you have a cross section of emails. Like, do it. Could you consider doing it? Please, for God's sake, like that. Do it for us. Do it for our children, whatever you need like that. You never know. All right. So, what do businesses attempt to achieve? Whether it's finance or manufacturing or whatever the business it applies. For us, for our sessions, it's mostly financial services. But a lot of this stuff, again, can be extended. All right? Top of the list, a better customer experience. Anybody done that, lady? Given the customer a good experience on the job? Yes, Miss Moultrie, no doubt. She can't wait to get up. Dog gonna go out there and let it rip. I know that feeling. When I was a youngster like you, man. What can I fix today? I don't know where I got that fix thing from. I should just... That didn't always serve me, by the way, like fixing stuff. Even though folks said we'd like you to fix it, Mr. Wilkinson, you're here to ensure that, yeah, the minute I start doing crap, they're like, yeah, like, what? Yes, this young punk. In those days, I was only 20, that's something then. This still, doesn't he know he should shut up until he's what, 40-something? And then he could, yeah. So, most of our organizations are seeking to do this. Definitely to what? By all means, if not, you shouldn't be in business. And thirdly, to?
Mitigate risk.
Does anybody know what that means? Mitigate?
So mitigating risk is steps that businesses would take to decrease adverse effects. Like, for example, like a business, instead of taking on a risk, they may like get an insurance policy so that they can transfer the risk.
Indeed.
Or they may decide that we want to avoid this risk altogether, so that may involve them not taking on certain clientele.
Interesting, you have given this crap some thought already. No, absolutely. Okay, that's exactly what mitigation is all about, reducing risk. Can we get rid of risk completely? No. But we seek to minimize it by taking mitigating steps. Insurance is one of them, reporting is one of them, legal is one of them, and so on, so that we can keep our risks to up. Sorry?
Vacation is one of them.
Vacation. How does vacation mitigate?
Operational risk.
Because you get somebody else to cover the desk.
Operational
They can take 2 weeks
risk.
consecutively, so they get someone else.
Why do we do the 2 weeks consecutive?
Operational.
Yeah, because woe to you and your organization if you have an employee who does not want to take vacation. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Avoid burnout too.
I'm good. Suzette, this is your 7th year without vacation. I'm good. I don't need it. I take vacations on weekends and holidays.
The worst kind of risk, operational.
Yeah. So chances of somebody doesn't want to take a vacation, maybe they're up to?
Something
No
different.
Yeah. They're up to no good somewhere potentially.
I think the vacation aspect is also to put some fresh eyes on the desk, because I know of a fraud case where someone who wasn't familiar with what was going on and they kept questioning.
Yes.
And the University of Bahamas fraud case.
Yes.
Fresh
You guys
eyes
heard about
discovered
the UB fraud case?
Yeah.
Yes. So fresh eyes, yes. Vacation puts fresh eyes there. Fresh review, somebody independent is looking at it, somebody who's not connected to it hopefully, and you see things differently. And maybe you pick up on some things that non-vacationing person may have been covering up or unknowingly not dealing with. They may not always be up to fraud. They may have just been there too long. It's like married people.
No, you see?
Like the longer you're married, like instead of taking each other less for granted, because you've been married a while, you've grown in respect. What happens sometimes is what? We start taking each other for granted. Shut up. And talking really bad to each other.
You raise a very good point, because in my experience I found too that people kind of put off work that they don't want to do.
Yes.
Or that they don't know how to do well. And that putting off sometimes can put the organization
No
at risk,
question
because
about
you're
it.
dealing with issues that need to be
Folks,
dealt with.
no doubt about it. I've walked into organizations in many of my life experiences where things have been put on hold because people were afraid to deal with it, afraid they were not going to succeed at it, afraid they were not going to know how to do it, just for whatever reason didn't want to deal with it. That is a real issue. Until what? Something blows. Yes. And then all hell breaks loose. And when I saw that as a youngster for the first time, I decided I don't care what the outcome is. I am not sweeping stuff. It doesn't help anybody. It's better to have attacked it and fail than not to have attacked it at all.
Do you have a personal shrink? I mean, that sounds funny, right? But I
No, you mean me personally? No, why?
It's very stressful. Like, I mean, I'm in this situation.
Oh, it is.
Dealing with people, right? Telling them the same things over and over. You have to do this and you have to do that. And then, oh, but I'm busy. And oh, you know, this. They don't think this part of the job is the real job, right? Like this, all this ancillary stuff.
Yes.
And I feel like I need to go see someone. Y'all driving me crazy.
Yeah, you could get that feeling. And then what happens is if clients are not cooperating and all that stuff, it creates a certain level of anxiety.
Yeah.
Depending on what job you're in, the level of responsibility, and what pressures are being what? Brought to bear. By all means, or from the side, or even from beneath. Your subordinates even like, she better get it, be gone. Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people in compliance are more stressed than they look. I'm telling you, sometimes when they leave one job to go to another, it's not because the pay is bad, it's because they don't want to deal with the stress anymore, that unspoken thing. And they're hoping that when they move to another organization, that the stress level will be lesser. Absolutely. All right. So for sure. And then finally, businesses seek to what? Increase their defense against what? Competition and?
Innovation.
Now that's an interesting statement. Why would you increase your defense against? Why are you defending against competition as a business? Of course! Of course! Don't you know that Netflix is a nightmare for the movie industry? Blockbuster, there's only one left in the United States, they say. You know the big Blockbuster stores? They're all gone. And the one that's left is a tourist attraction. People go there from all over the world to see what it used to be. To see what a VHR tape looks like, how to put it in the machine. Press play.
I think that freaked my daughter.
So, sorry?
I said I think that freaked my daughter out. So you right? I could see
Yeah,
that.
all of those kids who were born after Tingham, they have that's totally crazy to them. Of course! I remember the 8-track before the 8-track. Well, the big one. When I was in high school, my father gave me an old box about this high. They must have made that in 1940 with the 8-track about this big. It was the Isaac Hayes 8-track. Oh yeah, yeah. I only had one. So Isaac. So I play that all the time. So when I'm studying, I push that, or relaxing from studying, put in my big 8-track, and just listen to him go to Phoenix and do all the stuff that only. And the younger people are like, what the hell is he doing? It doesn't even compute. All right. So if you're in any kind of business, and even in the entity that you're in now, a lot of boards, really, these 4 things could be several board meetings if they wanted to be. Do you understand that? If they wanted to be. Unfortunately, boards all too often and organizations do not think about business outcomes like this. Yeah, they talk about profitability and all that, but not particularly, and some of the other ones, but not with the intensity that you would think that they should. Because each and every one of these, whether it's a profit or non-profit, have these kinds of things. How does a church mitigate against risk? The risk that the pastor will not run off with one of these. Yeah, misuse
One
stuff.
person sign the church.
Yeah. The deacon thing.
That the person who over children.
Yeah, vet the children now. In the old days, anyone could go in. Anyone you know go deal with the children. Now you have to fill in an application, go through a profile, background check, police record.
My Lord.
You have to fill in your gender. Male, female, other, can't figure it out. LGBTQ animal. So now when the plane crashes, when you look at the manifest, you kind of tell how many humans are other, like, what the flick? 17 males, 37 females, 59 other, 3 cats, 2 goats, and I know.
Haven't been there determined.
Have not yet determined. 300 people. How the hell did we get to that now? Once upon a time it was clear. Male? Yeah. Male? It's how simple that was. No. Anyway. So could all that stuff affect the compliance process?
Yes.
Make no mistake, it could.
It is.
Update the record.
You will be surprised.
Yeah,
because soon some of your compliance documents will have to be, how do you identify yourself? Because when you put, already.
That's why I say it is, yeah.
So what are the options these days? Any males?
Male, female, other.
Oh, male, female, other, yeah.
But they doing it on birth certificates now.
What?
What?
Yes.
Where?
Birth certificates in the U.S. now have that section there, not yet determined or not yet decided. Parents cannot declare a child's sex
at birth.
At birth, no more.
But the
Many
doctors,
states.
especially, I know they do it for doctors. I know a doctor can no longer pronounce, and sometimes they're talking about
So a penis and a JJ is not suffice.
No. The child has the right.
No, not only penis and vajayjay. P and V. But on top of that is this, God,
Yeah, most definitely.
creation.
Yes.
Like how the hell
In the beginning.
mere mortals get into that crap? How the hell we could declare it? Who the hell are we? Because last time I checked, when I was born, I don't even know how the hell I got here. I just walking around saying, Mommy, Dada, Mom. I didn't know how the hell. And I don't know when I'm going to drop dead either. So how the hell I get in it?
The only thing we were given authority to name were the animals. He named us, man and woman.
That's my point. Now we is it other thingum. To be determined. Man, we need to get it together. But you see, here's what happens.
They risk all the risk issues.
All there are risk issues in one form or another, which puts a greater burden and creates more risk. My.
KYC.
So when somebody comes with a loan application and says, what's your gender? You say, other. And you're like, stop the madness. So when they sign it, you sneak in, female. Because that's what you saw. Now, legal case comes up, they sue. They said, we did not say female. I am not a woman. No matter what you see, I am not a woman. I am other.
And so the court determines you don't bring the case against the right person.
And therefore,
the case thrown out.
Yes.
You falsified a document?
Yes, you checked female because you saw female stuff.
So what's going to happen in criminal systems when you
It's only
appear
going to
before a
get
judge or-
worse.
Which jail you going to? The man prison? The women prison? They got other prisons?
Unisex prisons. Everybody. Yeah. They're moving male and female bathrooms, they tell me. So chicks.
they've already done that.
Target.
What is it? So chicks ready to thing up and I'm over here.
Target was one of the first ones that came out and they told you that the bathrooms are now unisex. So yeah.
Of course.
You're going to jail?
I had a friend was reading from the girl's father for being inside though. He's dressed as a lady inside the female bathroom.
And what happened to him?
The daddy beat him to death.
Yes. See, that's another problem. People are pissed off and then somebody's dead, somebody's well, in prison. So it's a big problem. Okay? Well, and we think that risk is only about credit. No, it's not. Remember I told you, risk is a very pervasive thing. Okay? Make no mistake about it. And everything you've done before and everything you're going to do after today, know for sure that it goes well beyond just credit and business risk. Okay? For sure. All right. We're going to confine it to a couple of things for this particular certification, but that doesn't mean that that's where risk ends. Okay? All right. So, credit risk and risk management then help people who lend money to do the following. First of all, if you're managing your credit well enough, you can spend more time doing what?
Analyzing the results.
Absolutely. If you're too busy running down delinquent accounts, you don't have time to analyze results.
Right.
Whatever comes and say, the hell with it, like the bar, okay. We in the red or black? Black, great. Red, do something, we have to go collect money. We have to send more stuff to resolve, see? Somebody give a few more loans too, some politics. They trying to give them the thing of them. All right? A thing of them. Okay? It allows lenders, if you're managing your credit risk, to strengthen the way they do business and the way they charge interest and whether or not they need to charge $40 for a program.
Let it go.
Let it go. Get over it. Of course, being the devil's advocate, every time I go and I act shocked. If I go for a credit letter for like a job, how much is a credit letter? $30. I'm like, really? I act shocked. And I go as far sometimes these days to say, are there any senior citizen discounts? And of course the answer is no. Pay it. The look is pay it or get the hell out. Senior citizen or not. Sir.
Plus VAT.
Plus VAT.
Don't forget VAT.
Yeah, let's not forget VAT. You pick up a bank statement now, after every transaction, VAT. Deposit, VAT. Check, VAT. Check, VAT. Credit card, VAT. The statement is dominated by VAT. You can't even, yeah, even as an accountant, like if I'm looking at client statements, like preparing financial statements, I'm looking at the thing, it's VAT, VAT. Yeah, I can hardly see the deposits for VAT. That's sick. Good credit management allows us to better serve our customers. We don't have to worry about who we're not going to give loans to. We're going to worry about who we are giving loans to because our portfolio is in good shape. We're doing things a certain way. All right, and then of course, not to mention the examiners are everywhere. Improve what? Examiner relationships with well-documented and
Compliant.
of course, because if examiners come in and your documentation for compliance is a mess, they're gonna find you in breach of this, in breach of that, in breach of the other. They're gonna fine you. You have to respond, and they give you a certain time frame to respond. And if you don't, you may face other penalties. And then, on top of all that, they may visit you sooner again.
Some people get better treatment than others.
Examiners, we have some examiners in the room,
Yeah.
some regulators.
Yeah.
Tingham says that some people get better treatment than others. Is that true? Regulators, speak now or speak anytime. What was her regulatory answer?
It's on a risk-based framework.
Yes. Anything that comes is within the risk-based framework. Do other people get it's in the risk-based framework? Are you going to do it? It's in the risk-based framework. Exactly. And you're holding us up, by the way, because we need to go to the next location. Just give us what we want, and we'll be out of here. And that's true. Basically, if they deem you to be reasonably compliant, they will leave you alone for the most part. But if at every turn they're running into roadblocks, incomplete documentation, all kinds of weird stuff, that's going to make regulators suspicious, and they'll be hanging around your business longer than,
I wonder how often they go to the granddaddy doors.
Granddaddy?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean we're thinking missing the back?
Yeah.
Hardly ever.
Yeah.
They say that they have an office in there.
We missed the question.
They have an office there.
Not the office.
Do regulators ever go, she says, to the Mortgage Corporation of the Bahamas?
I have no knowledge of anything.
You've never seen regulators there?
I have no knowledge of what the conversation is about.
Oh. That's good, that's why you're here. By the time you're done with this crap, you will have some insight. All right? And you'll say something like, I can't wait for the regulators to come, or I wish they
Don't go.
never. Absolutely. That's the great thing about being in this environment. All right. So before we go on, let's define the word credit because everything is going to be underneath that particular caption. Okay? Most of us know what credit is, don't we? In the old days, we used to say credit means borrow now and
Pay later.
yeah, that's what all of this fancy stuff means. Borrow now, pay later. Okay? Now, if you're in a business meeting, oh, please don't say borrow now, pay later, because you'll need like somebody to interpret. Yeah, because this is what you'll say in your business meeting and at your credit risk conferences that you are speaking to. You would say that credit is a
Contractual
agreement in which a also known as a debtor receives what? Something of value when? Now, and then agrees to pay the lender when? At some later date with
Consideration.
better known as
interest.
yeah, from 10 to 16%. No answer. Bankers say leave us alone. In banks we trust. Is that still true?
No.
No. In banks we distrust now?
No.
No, we still trust banks, she says. We just don't like that 0.00 on our $10,000. For God's sake, at least pay 1% on it. What is 1% of 10,000 per year?
Million don't get 1%.
Who?
A million don't get 1%.
You heard? Did you guys hear that?
Sorry, can I hear it now? Bank of the Bahamas is offering it. Yes. Just putting it out there, Bank of the Bahamas is offering 2.25%
Jesus, if somebody
on
offered
our
to
$3 investment certificate.
And how long is it be in for?
A minimum of 3 years.
There you go, folks. 2.25 divided by 3 is how much a year?
Very
That's a
liquid at
what?
this point in time, but we're having a savings initiative and the bank is very liquid.
Bank of Solutions Lab.
This chick don't jive. Despite all the discussion about resolve, she's like, to hell with all that stuff. Yes.
So maybe you wanna, tell us why would interest rates be higher at one institution and not at the other?
Good
Maybe that brings
question.
clarity.
Maybe the politicians and the senior bankers of the country would care to have, what are those things you have at school, in the school room? Like they have a WTO, what do you call them? The little meetings. Yeah, perhaps they'd like to have a forum, but since they're bankers, they can have it at Bahama. And then all the grassroots and the rest of us go down there and explain why exactly. And they can serve us. Well, yeah. No, we want a real meal for once.
2 meats.
Okay? While they explain to us what's going on exactly. I doubt it will happen even if you have it on Clifford Park with water. Sorry. So, man. Okay, so there you have it. That's your formal definition of credit. When you go over the hill and you're talking to somebody who has not had a formal education, you don't mess with them with that formality. Tell them, worry now, pay later. Otherwise, you're going to create a problem. Absolutely. That could be a risk.
You better tell them when later.
No, they don't want to know when. That means you're confining them, which is what a lot of borrowers tend to do after a while. That's why we have what? Credit risk. Because credit risk is all about the fact that you may not get all of the money back. Well, chances are you won't get all. The question is, how much of it you won't get back. Okay? That's what it's all about. And so all of the things that we're going to be talking about is going to be designed to see if we can get most of it back. God forbid. Okay? Because getting it back is not easy. Has anybody ever loaned money to anybody?
Yes.
Did they pay you back?
Yeah.
And if they did on time? If they paid you on time, it's a rare moment in time. Most times they don't pay you on time or not at all. My experience has been the closer they are to you, the chance that you won't get paid.
They think you own the bank.
Oh, yeah, if you work for a bank, they don't think they need to pay you because you don't need any money. You're rich.
Give them a loan.
Of course. And if they come and give it to you, like, here's money I borrowed.
They don't want you to take it?
No! They want you to say, it's okay, Susie. You're my favoritist cousin. Keep the 300. And if you do that, you make it worse. Because that confirms in Susie's mind, you're definitely rich. And she,
pulling it back.
And if you take it, you take it.
or even if they have 3, they take out 1. Say, yeah, it's 1, I'll pay you the next one.
Get mad if you ask for your money.
Of course. Okay? And that's only on a personal level. Imagine on a what? Organizational level.
That's why that's the government bank. So you know, that's my country bank. That's my hometown.
Yeah, if you go into the government bank, man, that's a bigger problem. That's why Bank of the Bahamas had so much trouble. Because most of those loans in that $500 million thing was given to politicians and things like politicians, and peps and sub-peps and people connected and like that.
Could you imagine being a lender and trying to call one of them to tell them?
Good luck.
Jesus. No. I guess that's what it's
That's why it's a resolve. So that somebody from Deloitte
And should go and be the MD.
Hello, Mr. Pinder. No, Cartwright. Hello, Mr. Cartwright. This is Mark Munnings, Managing Director, Deloitte. Sorry to bother you, sir, but
Why calling you sorry?
we just have a case of the 23 million that is owing, and we'd like to know if you can possibly find the time to come and visit us, or we would come and see you if you prefer.
You do know what they say, right?
What do they say?
If you owe, what they say, if you owe the bank, $1 million, you own the bank. But if the bank owe you $1 million or something, that sense says they own you. So they talk about the more you lend, or the more you borrow, being the 23 million, the more the bank is at your
Mercy?
yes.
To some extent, depending on the bank and the situation.
Depending on the bank,
Yeah. Now,
If
if you, well, first of all, if you're a regular person, you ain't getting it.
well, you don't get that kind of money.
And if you are an irregular person, then yeah, you could fight with them. Like if you own a certain paint store and you owe 20 million, you can carry on, man.
Just to clarify, I don't owe anything to Bank of Bahamas. Because I see you calling some fellow
So yeah.
If you be fair to Bank of the Bahamas, they turned the corner a little bit in 2018.
They have.
They actually have
Folks,
some semblance of
they have.
I can tell
And the
you,
reason why they have,
yeah, people came from Scotiabank Bahamas Limited.
that's
Yeah, so then y'all just have to pay a little bit more and not report 50 million profit. That'll make a little more sense.
that's part of the reason. Some people believe that yes, by switching from any BNS people in here?
Scotia, yes.
Anyhow, by switching from BNS
Which two?
to Commonwealth,
Yep.
that is considered a changing of the guard. And all of you peps who were the beneficiaries under the old guard must know now that that is over. Yeah, there is a new.
That wasn't under BNS. Not at that point in time it resolved, and then he had all that. So whoever was managing them
BNS
wasn't BNS.
That's the middle. They
yeah,
came in.
that wasn't us.
Okay. It was that other thing.
Yeah, we have very prudent lending practices.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I'm a former Scotia banker. No doubt. Scotia Bank has one of the most stringent lending programs anywhere. Then and now.
And then Jamaicans call you on the phone, they'll stop.
No. See, now you open another. That's why I can't.
Why you do that, man?
That's why I can't get done with my doggone Jonathan. Jonathan, you said it. I was just going to talk about
repayment, right?
I don't know why the hell Jonathan said that. Last week. It's weird. Everything is so current. It's like a conspiracy. I called Scotiabank for a simple bit of information. Now, folks, don't get me wrong. I know what the crap is going on. But somebody has to be the devil's advocate occasionally. So, I pick up the phone. I call a Scotiabank number in Nassau.
In Nassau?
Yes. Who answers the phone? Hello? May I help you? I'm like, you may not. I'm trying to reach Scotiabank Bahamas. But I can help you. I said, you cannot help me. Where is this? I knew where it was. But since they couldn't identify me, somebody had to be the devil's advocate. I'm like, where is this? She said, well, what do you mean? What city? What country is this? She said, this is Trinidad. I'm like, you're kidding me. She said, no, I'm not kidding. This is Trinidad. How can I help? I said, you cannot help. I'm calling from Nassau, Bahamas, and I want to speak with the bank just down the road. Why am I calling Trinidad? She said, no problem, I can connect you. I'm like, okay, if you must. Yeah, she connect me to the thing out, and then one of you came on. Hello? They're like, what the hell? How come we have an intermediary in Trinidad? And furthermore, why the hell? We can't answer phones yet? Why?
It's more efficient.
Efficient?
Too expensive. Cost,
There's nothing more expensive than people.
it's too expensive.
Depends on the Bahamian. You could still hire a Bahamian for $250, $20, $30 and train them to answer the phone. Now, certain people you can't train no matter what because they don't get it. But you could train a low-income force to answer the phone. No question about it. Or you could pay a couple of semi-retired and retired Bahamians who just want to make a couple of bucks. Pay me whatever you want.
That's the truth. That's right. Keep them active.
Of course. And contributing and some other crap. This is the kind of thing, eh? Too bad. Let the truth prevail. Nothing personal against Tingham.
No, but
It's not personal at all.
no, but we'll see that more banks with international presence and who have, they will be moving in that direction.
Folks, let me tell you something. If I was truly one of them, if they tell me that in my country we have a 25% unemployment rate, I'll be damned if I let anybody.
Very much. Thank you very much.
That's right.
You can't do that, internet. You can't force people that.
I know, Jonathan. But somebody has to be the devil's advocate.
That's right.
I understand all the business reasons.
Yeah, the cost of business to do business in the
That's what I should have done. I should have gotten married for business reasons. How about thinking that?
Well, someone said that it is.
So that means I eliminate 90% of the chicks. None of you too poor. And the other 9%, you ain't educated enough. Because I'm a scholar. And I'm looking for a woman with money. So all of you know who ain't there?
That's actually a good industry.
Eliminated from the
No, just for the record, Sam, personally, with that process, I test that every month.
Which one?
Which one is it?
It's a call center.
Oh.
And express the same kind
So when you say test,
I test it
what do you
naturally.
mean?
Just to see maybe it'll
Just to
change
see
back to
if
hello.
it'll change, and I say I'm called, identify myself. I'm the senior manager, Scotiabank, Nassau, Bahamas, located in Rawson Square. I want to speak with the manager of Scotiabank East Bay Street, Nassau,
Yes.
Bahamas, and they go through the long list.
Long process.
Please have your credit card ready or debit card ready.
Yes, he's absolutely right.
And they go through that normal stuff.
Yes.
And so it is frustrating.
Yes.
It don't have to be, because I did it before, and I'm like, miss, what's the point of me repeating to you when I'm going to repeat to the person I asked you to connect me to? It doesn't
It's a
make
challenge.
any sense.
There's stuff we're working through, but that's a business. That's a business decision.
It's a business decision.
Business decision.
Yes. So, when somebody calls from the EU to the Bahamas, they think they're talking to somebody in Jamaica, Grenada, or Trinidad or somewhere. No, we don't. Which is why I find it fascinating that when I travel, people still ask, are you from Jamaica? And I'm thinking, as far as I can hear, I sound nothing like Jamaicans. In fact, Jamaicans would be insulted to think that they sound like us. They are so extremely proud of the way they talk. No, I'm not kidding. Mind you, not all Jamaicans sound like that either, by the way.
No.
There's some very
fluent,
educational Jamaicans.
They can turn it
Educated
on.
Jamaicans.
They can turn it on
Yeah,
and
they
off.
can turn it. Yeah,
So
just like
can
we
we.
do.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? Look, yeah, sure they can.
Then, yeah.
me vexed for these people that me talking like this, but. Okay, who brought that up? Who caused that? Jonathan, yeah. He's the culprit. All right. So then, when we go about assessing credit risk, like, okay, what's the risk involved? By the way, everything we talk about should have been applied to Bank of the Bahamas or any other lender who's done crap. There's a lot of lenders who've done crap. Not just Bank of the Bahamas. Bank of the Bahamas is a small player. There are many banks internationally that have lost tens of millions, billions in bad loans, quote unquote. And some of those bad loans were deliberately bad. Padded loans. Just like padded contracts. I give you so much, you give me so much. You wait a while and don't pay, and I'll doggone have my board write it off. Send it to resolve to be resolved. I hope not. I hope I'm so wrong it's ridiculous, but I don't think so. But I just want you to know, this stuff doesn't just happen on a small level in the Commonwealth. We are late comers with this stuff. This stuff has been around since Methuselah. Credit risk, definitely. Okay? It's just that now that we become civilized in certain quarters, we have delinquency departments to call you. And they used to just break your legs. Remember? Some people still do. Or shoot you. John, if you don't have the money by next week, you're dead. Oh, by the way, before we kill you, we'll kill everybody around you first.
That's to let you know how serious it is.
Yes. Until you pay. And then sometimes, even if they kill everyone around you and get to you and you say, I have the money, they still kill you for holding them up. People are still scamming with ASUS? When will they ever learn? When will they ever? See, so I have somebody I would like to take out for my ASU. But yeah, there's still some people who are not doing the right thing with ASUS. All right. Is ASU a form of credit or savings?
It's credit to the first person.
Yeah, it's credit to the,
It's credit to the first.
Credit to the first person?
Yeah.
Well, everyone who's net
Everyone
positive.
except the last.
The person with the last draw.
Yeah. Everyone except the last.
There's no hole in it, right?
Some.
If you receive money up front, by definition, that's credit.
Yeah, so everybody except the last person.
Yeah, by strict definition, because you're getting the third draw, the fifth draw, something like this. Yeah, you receiving now, and you get the first draw, because you're receiving now, and then you pay.
Correct.
Yeah, until it's all
done.
So is that a good idea?
No.
Absolutely not.
Is that a high risk area?
Yes,
You could lose your job.
Well, and your life.
Yeah.
Like,
At least they now recognize it in court.
well, if you have a contract, it will be recognized.
Yeah.
If you can prove that verbally and your business, you can prove it, maybe, but that's not the best way. If you have a written contract, then you have a case. Okay? But it has to be a contract that meets all the requirements of a contract. Otherwise, you can still lose the case. So be careful. If people are related to you, does it make the risk safer?
No. Worse.
Worse. At least if they're not related, you could break something.
Yeah.
If they don't do it. But if they're related, like you're like, oh, how do I break
have to
my
pay that bill.
Yeah, like how do I break my sister's leg?
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay that bill.
Yeah. How do I choke my wife to death? Like, where's my money? And so on. All right. So how do we go about assessing credit risk? Well, at the first and foremost and at the beginning, you must try to determine the always. So if somebody comes to your institution to borrow money, that's why we have a long application. Some applications have gone from 1 page in the old days now to how many? Yes, several. And then several beyond several. And then attachments, supplements, appendices. All of that is designed to determine the ability to pay. Because that has all of your financial, prior credit history, all that good stuff on it. And then the credit committee or credit head looks at that and tries to make a determination, does this person have the ability to pay? Now, because a person has great income or a company has great profits, does that mean they'll pay?
No.
Not necessarily.
Willingness to pay.
Yeah,
That's why you gotta pay.
it's an interesting thing. Yeah, sometimes persons on small incomes pay loans far better than persons on great incomes for all kinds of reasons. So you cannot judge a book by its
Cover.
You have to try and find a way to determine ability to pay. It's just like when you're getting married. Like, do you know, like,
Who your daddy is?
oh, worse than that, who the hell are you marrying? Do you really know?
Yeah.
No, you don't. Because when you're dating, you don't know anything. Everybody's faking on dates.
Yeah.
That's not the real person, is it? No. But you will find out about the real person when?
Once you done sign their papers.
Yes.
That's a risk, eh?
Of course it's a risk. It's an even greater risk now because you may be marrying another.
Jeez! Oh my word. That's why you gotta test it first.
What? Way to go, yo.
No need to be. It may not be credit risk, but it sure as hell is risk. Worse than credit risk. Okay, folks? Because depending on what happens, you may not be able to prove some crap and not be able to annul it.
As long as you don't consummate.
What does consume? No, no, they said he knew. Or she knew.
You ought to have known.
No, no, they're going to say you knew. Yeah, they said, I showed him. I let him stop. And then you stop. I'm saying, that's how risk. Doesn't make sense going to pay premiums after the house.
That'd be interesting.
Going down. I'm sure some people are going to have that. A guy has already had that experience. He was able to get into the wedding annulled. Because he was able to prove that he was deceived. Okay? So I tell my sons, go to the beach, let the chick put on bikini.
Operation, you better change.
Go to get, yeah. It's a serious flicking thing.
Get a baby
nowadays.
picture, Joe. You got a baby
Even,
picture.
another baby picture. It doesn't look,
Jesus. It's scary.
Ability to pay is like that. It's sometimes difficult to determine. Okay, folks? So be careful. Now, has anybody ever heard about the C's of credit? The 5 C's of credit?
Yeah.
Okay? If you have not, then please bear these in mind if you ever get into the credit world, if you ever lend any money to anybody, if you're ever discussing countrywide risk, credit risk, and so on. These 5 C's apply basically to any type of credit. Okay? And if you apply them well, they should help you to determine ability to pay. Okay? So, credit C number 1. Determine the individual or the country or the borrower's
Credit history.
history. Why is history important?
It gives you the background.
Yeah, whether they were paying well or not so well, whether they paid well for a while and stopped paying well after a while. The history is important. Something that we don't do even in our own personal lives anymore. And sometimes, like organizations, we live to regret it. Okay? History.
Is the ACH
History.
functioning yet?
Sorry?
ACH. How far is it from functioning?
Oh, another dirty word has come up.
The automated clearinghouse?
The ACH always been functioning.
It's always
the
been,
credit
yeah,
bureau.
you're talking about
Until
credit
the
bureau.
bank.
The
No,
credit
I know,
bureau.
not the ACH, the credit bureau, I know.
Yeah.
The CB.
That's about 2 years out.
Who wants a credit bureau?
Before you can get information.
One,
from it, you're
only
talking about
Jonathan.
5 to 7 years out.
It'll be good for some landlords.
Landlords?
Who you can lend, in this environment, when that's who you can lend to.
Well, the problem is so many people have credit that's not good.
That's what I'm saying.
That means banks will be lending even less money than they are. Potentially.
So that means they just have to set their risk appetite. They'll have to adjust the risk appetite to
No
make sure
doubt.
that it
And
fits.
which will create even greater liquidity.
Yeah.
So instead of the rate being this 0.00000, it'll be minus 0.
You'll be paying them.
Yeah, they start charging you for having a
You say
CD.
that as a joke, but Europe has had negative interest rates from
Europe-
2015.
Yes.
So you actually pay to leave your money in the
Yeah, for the custody, for the safe custody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay? Between 1,000 and 10,000, $5. Between 10,000 and straight up, a scale.
Too, when you take into, when you look at the yield, because of you getting nothing on credit and you paying all these fees, that's a net.
Of
negative
course,
yield.
of course, no doubt about it. At the end of the day, we suffer. They're making all kind of money on the loans they do give and don't pay any interest on anything. How the hell? How come we haven't passed legislation to have a minimum rate, like 1%? You can't go below that.
Put your money in the post office.
You have to consider like different markets, don't you?
Indeed. I know. But it stinks. So, consider the what? Credit history. C number 2. Anybody knows what capacity is?
Capacity, ability.
If you're able to pay, and this is where your debt service ratio comes in, because they say they get a feel of your affidavit of expenses, like how much did you have to spend out of your salary, and then they don't want to
Yes.
45%. But I'll be honest, I think this one is very difficult to determine because people are now getting loans from places that don't take it out of your salary. Like what they'll do is they'll put up their Rolex that they got as a gift or a Cartier bracelet in the pawn shop. The pawn shop is gonna give them a loan. The pawn shop is gonna give them a loan, and they were paying that loan over the counter.
Yeah.
They're not gonna include that when they sit in with
No,
their credit officer.
quite right. There are a lot of things when we're talking about debt service ratio that are not included, that it's difficult to verify, and that creates risk in terms of capacity. Lenders have to try to work themselves around these issues in an effort to determine capacity or ability or capability to pay. It's not always easy.
Conversation is so important.
Say it again?
That's why the sales conversation is
No,
so
no question about it. Okay? And you definitely cannot judge a book by its cover, for sure. It'll kill you. What about the C of capital investment? What do you think that means?
What you put in.
Yeah, what you put into the deal. In the old days,
Skin you have in the game.
yeah, you couldn't get a loan without a deposit, down
Down
payment.
payment
The
injection.
feeling is that if you put something in, you will treat the loan with more respect. As opposed to if you get 100% loan, like great, I made no sacrifice, no commitment, I'll treat this loan like the dog I have. And some people do. Yeah, some people treat their dog better than their loan. Way better. While they're feeding that dog caviar, that's your loan payment. Okay? Your account is delinquent, the dog is having caviar. Alright? I'm not kidding you. Or some people have different kinds of animals. They are called, in the old days we used to call them sweethearts. Do we still have any of those?
Yeah.
We still have sweethearts in 21st century?
The other bank.
Oh, okay. 21st century. 'Cause what the hell does that mean? A lot of loan payments go to?
Significant others.
Yeah, significant others, just like on pets.
Always in my mind.
Alright, so I think we had enough bloody credit for the day. We're gonna stop next week, we'll pick it up and move on. Have a great week, I'll see you guys next time.
Tyrone, the thing you said, what you say, the contract, what the man say, what the woman was saying, what you just sent out. When she was saying, it's signed up, put it on, contract.